Only 10%. That's it. According to the largest global study ever conducted on workplace performance, only 10% of knowledge workers belong to a genuinely high performing work group. The other 90%, they think they're high performing. They told researchers they were, but the data says that they're sleepwalking through spreadsheets, while the real producers carry the company on their backs. 90% of your workforce believes they're elite while producing average results. That is not a performance gap, that is a performance delusion. And it's the most expensive lie in corporate America. Hello, my name is Todd Hagopian, the original Stagnation Assassin and the author of this book, The Unfair Advantage Weaponizing the Hypomanic Toolbox. But today, we are doing a Stagnation Assassin book review of Contagious Success by Susan Lucia Annunzio. So get ready for a hard hitting, bold, relentless review of a book that promises to spread high performance throughout your organization like a virus, and whether that virus actually has teeth or whether it is just a corporate cold. Here's the premise. This is the author who ran the Hudson Highland Center for High Performance, conducted a massive global study over 3,000 knowledge workers across 10 countries. And her conclusion? Stop trying to fix your worst teams and instead find your best performing work groups. Study what makes them tick and replicate that formula across your organization. Success, she argues, is contagious. The question is, does the idea hold up under the pressure of a real turnaround? And that's what we're going to dive into here in the meat. What does this book get right? Let's give credit where it's earned. The central insight is powerful and profoundly counterintuitive. Most companies, when performance sags, go straight for the sick patient. They pour consulting dollars into their weakest divisions. They run remediation programs. They hold improvement workshops that produce nothing but prettier failure. But this author says, stop. Look at what's actually winning, who's actually winning, and then figure out why and spread that playbook. Corporate America spends billions fixing its losers while ignoring the people who actually know how to win. And that's not strategy, that's stagnation in a three-piece suit. She nails the environmental argument. It's not about individual superheroes, it's about the ecosystem. Even a talented individual can't produce results in a toxic, bureaucratic, politically poisoned work group. The environment either accelerates performance or it assassinates it. When I took over divisions at Fortune 500 companies, the first thing I assessed was not the people, it was the system that they were trapped in. And this author gets that right. She's exactly right here. Smart people doing dumb things aren't dumb, they're in dumb environments. The research base gives this book serious weight. This isn't someone's opinion laundered through a few anecdotes. 3,000 workers, 10 countries, rigorous segmentation between high, average, and low performing groups. She identified the specific behaviors that accelerate performance. Things like valuing people's contribution, eliminating bureaucratic interference, and killing information hoarding, and the specific behaviors that destroy it, like micromanagement, political maneuvering, and resource hoarding. If your managers are hoarding information like it's gold, congratulations. You've built a performance prison and staffed it with wardens. Now let's go to the murder board. What does this book get wrong? The murder board for every book, and this book definitely needs one, okay? The biggest problem, the principles are painfully obvious. Value your people, eliminate bureaucracy, foster critical thinking, seize opportunities. As Kirkus Reviews noted, these are boilerplate business cliches that have been preached for decades, and that's the trap. The book tells you what high performance teams look like, but it's thin on the how of replicating that across a resistant, entrenched organization. Telling a stagnant company to be more like its best team is like telling a drowning man to be more like Michael Phelps. Accurate, sure. Helpful, not even close. Second, the success as a virus metaphor has a fundamental flaw. It assumes your best work group can serve as a template for the rest. But what if your group's success is contextual? What if they have a unique leader, a unique market, a unique set of circumstances? We can all think of these people in our organization. You can't photocopy culture. I've seen companies try to clone their top teams and they end up with Frankenstein's monster, a patchwork of practices that don't fit the context. Replication requires adaptation, and the book completely glosses over that complexity. Third on the murder board, and this is the operator complaint. There's no real framework for dealing with the destructive behaviors that she identifies. So she lists them beautifully: micromanagement, politics, control. But where's the playbook for eliminating them? Those aren't weeds that you can just pull, they're root systems embedded in the organizational soil. Naming the disease is not the same thing as performing the surgery, and that's where this book falls short. The Stagnation Verdict: 3 kills out of 5. Solid, but safe. Contagious Success has a genuinely powerful idea. Study your winners instead of obsessing over your losers. I agree with that idea, actually, and backs it with serious research. That alone makes it worth your time, but it stops short of giving operators the brutal tactical frameworks that they need to actually replicate high performance in a messy, political, stagnation riddled organization. The research is real, the principles are sound, but the execution playbook is missing. And for a book about spreading success, that's kind of a painful irony. So, good ideas, insufficient weaponry. That's the Assassin verdict on Contagious Success. 3 kills. Read it for the research and the mindset shift, but pair it with something that has sharper teeth when you're ready to actually transform. For frameworks forged in actual Fortune 500 combat, not just observed from the research bleachers, make sure you grab a copy of The Unfair Advantage: Weaponizing the Hypomanic Toolbox, and subscribe to the Stagnation Assassin Show. Visit toddhagopian.com for more free articles, as well as stagnationassassins.com, which is the world's largest library on stagnation. And stop pouring money into fixing your failures. Start weaponizing your winners. That's the insight. Now go find somebody who will hand you the sword.